Today I'm going to be walking you through blueprinting, setting up Quartz, and building your own system like this, where you'll have just some basic lights that flash along with the beat and time. You'll be able to change this quantization to quarter note, 8th note, 16th notes, whatever you want to do there, or semiquavers. I've got a music degree, I should probably use the correct term. Come at me, Americans. You're wanting to set something up, you want to change the tempo, and you want to have these oddly porcelain people floating around your level. Well, you can do that too, though the porcelain people, I'm not sure why. I think she's very shiny, very, very shiny. We're going to start up with a blueprint class. For me, I'm just going to be using an actor. You could talk with an audio programmer about getting this as a subsystem or setting something up otherwise. We're going to start with a Quartz clock system. Now this actor will sit in the world, constructs a clock, or it listens to a clock and breaks down the time into discrete bits that you can sample. So instead of having something that goes off on sample rates of 48K, 44K, we can subdivide that into a system that's more musical. Every beat, every bar, something like that. I'm going to start with just typing in Quartz. What is Quartz? It is that system that breaks down the tick rate of an engine into a musical subsystem. I'm going to start with the Quartz subsystem. When you drag off this pin and we look for Quartz, here we go. You'll see a Quartz clock handle and you'll see the Quartz subsystem. Now, the subsystem itself, you probably don't need to change too much. It is a system that handles latency, the round trip time and audio thread stuff. But for the most part, you probably won't need to change it unless something's going wrong or you're looking to do something more advanced with it. First up, we can hit create new clock. We're going to set that up to begin play, and you'll see it has a name. We can give it a little name. I'm going to call it soup. I don't know why, I just like soup. Set up this clock. This handle gives us a way to address that clock. The most important part of this system is making sure that we store that handle, because we're going to be referencing this handle quite a few times. I mean, we're going to call it Quartz clock handle. When we set up this Quartz clock handle, you'll need to play it, stop it, pause it, change it, and probably the most important one you want to do, if I drag off the Quartz clock handle and I look for Quartz clock handle again, I can get things like the time, I can get whether it was running or not, whether we want to start it or stop it, whether we want to subscribe or unsubscribe to some events. And so let's do that now. Let's subscribe to all quantization events. You could subscribe to just a specific one if you're looking for the difference. That would be whether you want to subscribe to every bar, every beat, every tick, every 16th note, half note, whole note, dotted notes, even triplets and things like that. You do have the same control here with subscribe to all, but the difference is that when you make this event, and if I just create a new custom event, it's actually going to have the quantization type that you'll probably need to split off. Maybe to make it really nice and simple, let's just do a single quantization event, and let's make it every beat. And this will mean that every time the beat fires, it will fire off an event. If you've made this subscribe to quantization event, we want to make an event to post out. You can either do this by making an event dispatcher to listen to it in other systems, or you could add a custom event, which is what I'm going to do. You could even do, if you like to make it a little bit neater, you could do create event, which would allow you to move this function, like call a function somewhere else. So I'm going to make a matching event, which I know looks kind of the same as just inlining a custom event, but personally I like doing things this way because now I have like a degree of separation here, and I could have this as a function just called like initialize clock or something. People that saw some of the sins I created in my early Quartz systems will tell you is that organization really is key, and you could think about it ever so slightly and it will save you a lot of time when you're debugging Quartz systems. And probably the major thing that I will say here with debugging and working on Quartz systems is that you're going to listen to the same few tracks of music about 1 billion times, I think is probably a conservative estimate. And the time that it takes to go through beats, go through bars, and listen to a 32 bar section at 50 BPM 100 times in a day costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time, and it's not even that interesting. So I would say try and be very organized with the structure of your blueprint, because the structure will save you a lot of money and a lot of time. Going back to this blueprint, when we subscribe to this quantization event, we're going to create that subscribed event, which is going to fire this little Quartz clock event every time the bar or the beat, this quantization boundary here, every time this happens, every beat, every bar, whatever you set this to, it will fire this event. So if I did something really, really simple, we do a print string hello, it will print hello every beat. If I change this to bar, it will print hello every bar. This won't actually do anything straight away, even though we've created it and we've subscribed to it, we have not started it. But if I set my beats per minute like this and I pass my clock handle through, I could even promote this to a variable and say that we have a variable beats per minute. For me right now, let's just set this to like 120. We're going to go full on basic for this one, and we're going to start it up. Now that it's started, we don't need to store the clock handle anymore. We don't need to like reset it or anything. The cardinal sin of these print strings is not adding a key. Beat. Would be nice to have a little bit more information than just that a beat happened, but it might be nice to have something like what the beat was. To do that, I like using this little format text node. And when I connect up my format text and I set up a couple of these little curly braces, say clock name, let's say like quant type. I'm just going to copy all these things, quant type. I'm not really going to care about the fraction. That's just how far into the beat we are. Connect up these beat node, toy string, enum to string, there it is. And our clock name. Great. And let's drop in our Quartz clock subsystem, and maybe I'll make the duration just like 0.2 instead of the 1 frame. And when I click, you can see now it's ticking up. Kind of annoying because it's flashing. We could calculate the time, I'm sure, but who's got the time? This will keep clicking up. It's cool. But what if I wanted to connect it to some part of the world? Well, that doesn't really work without referencing the clock somewhere. And this is one of those moments where you might think like, well, how do I want to start connecting this up to the world? But this wouldn't be a quick and dirty Quartz way if I didn't do some quick and dirty things. So let's do a quick and dirty thing by setting up an event dispatcher to post out this information and say, anybody can have this information, anybody at all, even you, porcelain lady. And we do that by hitting this event dispatcher, and let's call it just like a beat event. Now, event dispatchers are really cool because you can use them to listen for other scripts or other elements. You could use them as events to pass around within the same thing. You could bind them so that something happens or some function happens every time they occur. For me, what I'm actually going to do is just call them. And this means that every time this event happens, this BP Quartz clock system, we will call this event and then we'll print the string, probably put this behind a debug or whatever in future. This is cool, except it doesn't give us the beat event information. We don't know what bar we're up to. So if there's something that we're supposed to change based on the bar or the beats or the dotted semi-quaver, we couldn't get that information. Let's populate that information by going up to the event dispatcher and then clicking on the inputs and adding a new argument. And we're going to call this one bar num for the bar number, set it to the integer, make another one for beat num, and you'll see we have a bar num and a beat. Oh, we have a new param. And that's a weird bug with these event dispatchers. You just need to change the type and then change it back again. And we get it solved. With this, we connect up our bars and beats and we hit compile, and this call beat event will have a little packet of information that anybody can listen to, including you, porcelain lady. I have these pretty little lights. You can click one of these spotlights. I'm going to click this little blueprint button that makes a Quartz BP Quartz reactive spotlight. In this blueprint, we're thinking about that event dispatcher. We're trying to get information from it to say what beat, what bar we're up to. And we're going to change the color of the light based on what index we're up to there. For that, we will make a variable called Quartz clock. And this will be the type of our Quartz clock system that we had before. And it will mean that we can either set it by manually by clicking on that when this is in the world. We have a Quartz clock and we can select our Quartz clock. Alternatively, if we wanted to, we could set that up to be automatic by doing something like get actor of class, set that up to be the Quartz clock system, and then is valid. If we get one, then we can use it to alt drag the Quartz clock and say that we can set that up there. And then what we're going to do is drag off of our Quartz clock reference and say bind event. And you can see that we have beat event. We want to bind an event and then we want to unbind it when we destroy things to be safe. But for now, we're just going to click bind event to beat event. Now we can create a custom event just to show you a slightly different way of doing this one. And this will be like change color on beat. Now, because we've bound our event to the beat event, every time it fires, this will also fire, which means we could grab our spotlight component, grab that in here, and let's look for something cool we could do. Light function, light scale, light channels, specular, transmission, blah, 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 blah. Color. Okay, we've got a light color. I'm gonna make it a different color every beat. So switch on int, and we know that there's beats 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 won't be included in this one because it's not an array that way. It's actually going to be what beat number it is. We can probably just paste this out for the sake of there being 4. And we can pick a light color. Now, it's very, very important that you pick exactly these light colors, otherwise it will not work ever. What you'll do is you'll get fired and you'll call me and then I'll get subpoenaed, and it's a whole thing. So we're going to replace some of these spotlights with our reactive spotlights. I can do that by right-clicking on a spotlight and clicking my replace with a Quartz reactive spotlight, and do that for a couple of them. And we're going to have a very oddly and excited cafe. There we go. So we can see every beat we get a different color. They are all signed up to be the same. Excuse me, lady. They're all signed up to be the same at the moment, but you can extend the system to do basically anything that you want synced up that you would normally do with a blueprint event, whether that's coordinating all of your props of axes and swords to have them synced up to Quartz events, whether that's having enemies attack on Quartz beats and elements like that. It's kind of all fair game. It's an incredibly powerful system, and I wanted to walk you through it step by step, how to get involved with setting up Quartz. It is something that is incredibly expandable, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.